Hey guys, so I'm gonna be talking about something and doing my makeup. So yeah, if you like seeing my makeup, then this is a good video for you. And if you like hearing me talk about stuff, this is also a good video for you. Um, so I'm just gonna jump right into it. So basically, for a while, like for a really long time, I have been silencing myself. Like, I basically did not have a voice. I felt like my opinions were not valid, that people did not need to hear what I thought, or that I would sound stupid if I said if I said what I was thinking. Like, growing up, I wasn't really, I feel like I was more extroverted when I was younger than I am now. Um, but like every time I would want to say something, I would stop myself. And because I was like, oh, why? Like when I was younger, like a toddler, I was more extroverted and all that. But because I was already like an introvert, it was easy for me to be like, no, you shouldn't say that and all that stuff. So I kind of silenced myself, and I thought like what I had to say wasn't important, and which is crazy because I'm the type of person who has like all this stuff going on in my head. Like, I have so many thoughts going on in my head at like any given moment, like at any time. So like because I was silencing myself, I would have all this stuff to say, and I would just like, I think a lot about like everything. Like, I'm so curious about a lot of things. So I'm silencing myself, and I had like all these thoughts and stuff. So like, because it's kind of like, you know, people say that you hold your emotions in and it bottles up and all that. So I'm thinking about all this stuff, and there's all this stuff, like all this stuff that I think is cool and I want to share with people and all of that. But I'm like, you don't need to say it. You don't need to say it. Like, don't say it. Don't say it. And I feel like even when I was little, I always felt different. Like, different in the aspect of like being with people who are my age group. Like, I always felt different. Cause like, I don't know. I don't think I think the same way as like, well, no one really thinks the same way as anyone, but I don't think I particularly don't think the same way as people who are my age, which is weird to say. I don't at all. So it's like weird. Well, for me, I think it's weird. I don't know if I want to do my brows. Sorry, I'm cutting myself off. I don't know if I want to do my brows first or um I'm not sure. I feel like I need to do brows. Sorry about that. Um, but yeah, I never really felt like I fit in with people. Like, I always, I, like, even in general, I feel like people my age don't really understand me, and that's just like a thing. And I always attracted friends that are older, and to this day, I still, like, a majority of my friends are like older than me. And I feel like I can have conversations with older people. I'm not saying like, oh, I think I'm all that, because I'm not. But I'm just not, like, the things that people my age want to talk about, I don't really care for. I've always, like, even when I hung out, like, with older people when I was, like, younger, like, middle school, like, in middle school, I had high school friends. Like, that is so crazy. Like, in middle school, I had high school friends. I know, that is, like, crazy. But, yeah, so it's, like, even when I hung out with people who were older than me, it wasn't, like, I didn't really feel young. Like, I specifically remember, like, one of my friends, her boyfriend, I hung out with him, and he felt the need to, like, open up to me about stuff, which I don't know why. But he was like, you're so mature for your age. And I'm like, I've been hearing that a lot, too. Like, that people really forget how old I am. It's so weird. Like, I'll tell people, like, my age, and they'll be like, no, or they'll forget. like what my age is. And I don't know. So like basis of that was I've always hung out with an older crowd. I've always felt like more comfortable with an older crowd. So, like I said, for a while, like I didn't feel like I had stuff in common. Like it's not like I didn't have friends in my grade. I did, but like the things that they would talk about didn't really interest me. Like I was just like this is gonna sound so bad, but like the problems that they had, I kind of was like, there are bigger things going on. like I could see easy fixes to their problem. I guess that's why I was like the friend that like people came to for advice about stuff a lot. Like I was that friend. So even though I did have friends in my grade, they would come oh my gosh, they would come and ask me for advice about things. Like that's basically what the relationship was. Or I would just sit there and listen to their problems. Because like I said, I was very introverted. So it was like I was a really good listener because I didn't really talk like that. So it was like when I went around an older crowd that I was like able to, like I was still introverted, but like I was actually interested in what they said. And also like I felt like the older crowd actually pushed me to express my thoughts like a little more, like in what I thought. So that was interesting. So like I said, I never felt like I was like, you don't need to say stuff because your points are valid. Like even like in class I wouldn't say that much. Like obviously like I felt like I spoke up more when it was like classes where like there was an infinite like answer, like a math class and all that stuff. But like discussion classes, like English class and all that, I really didn't speak up that much. Like I really didn't feel like I needed to share my thoughts on things. And like as I got older into like high school and all that, obviously teacher, like especially with the classes I was taking a lot of honors and AP classes. So I know, why did I do that to myself? But like I feel like those teachers try more to get everyone involved. So a lot of teachers would like ask me like what I thought about things, or like I remember like specifically my AP Lit teacher, she could tell like I said, I'm always thinking about things. She could tell I'm thinking about that I was thinking like while we were having discussions, I was thinking about things, but I never raised my hand. So she would come and be like, "What are your opinions on it?" and stuff like that. So it was also that, and even when I did have, because I was taking those classes, a lot of the friends that I did have were somewhat a little mature too, had like a mindset similar to mine. So that was interesting. It was an interesting time in my life. But I always felt like, I don't know why I felt like that. Because I was like, I was having lots of thoughts, lots of like things that like, if teachers would ask questions or like when something would happen, I would do a lot of research on it. I was so curious. I was such a curious kid. It was like not even funny. Like growing up in an African household, I think made it even funnier because like, you know, when your parents tell you like, well, I feel like this is like, it might be every household, like superstitions. Oh, I can touch on this too. But superstitions, like I'd be like, I'm that kid who's like, but why? Like, why is it bad? But why is it bad? And you know, like your parents are like, and my mom would like get annoyed with me and she'd be like, I don't know why it's bad. We never asked. Like, we never did that. We just listened to like the elders and we never asked. And I was like, okay. But like I wanted to know the reason. Like I'm always that person who like wants to know the reasoning behind something. But oh, also what like stopped me from talking was I I literally like in I think this was like kindergarten or like first grade, I had to do like, I forget what it's called. It was like a reading thing because like when I was younger, like kindergarten, all that. Like my grandma and all that. Like all my grandmas used to come around like a lot. And my grandma, like she can speak English, but she speaks Creole. It's like a not the Haitian Creole. There's different Creoles if you didn't know that. But yeah, so like I used to, like I can still speak it, but like I used to speak that a lot, and also like when I speak other language, like I can't speak a lot of languages, but I can speak some of it. So like when I went to school, they were like that my English wasn't good. So I had to do this like reading. It was I don't even remember the name, but I was like reading something. So like someone from like an older. It was usually like middle schoolers or high schoolers would come down and like it was like a special. It was like during like English time or whatever. They would come down and like call us, and then you would go and read books to them. And then like every week, like the reading teacher, there was like a reading remediation teacher. I would have to go read stuff to her, and she would have like the book, like the writing in front of her, and she would like check like if I said certain words right or all that, if I struggled with words. I'm so sorry, my throat is so dry. But yeah, she would do that. So also I felt like I didn't want to talk because I didn't want to mispronounce stuff. Even like now, I say stuff and I don't talk. Like even you can probably tell from my videos, I say stuff and I don't talk really fluently. Like it's a thing, and I feel like maybe if I talked more, I could like improve that. But instead, I decided to be silent. So it was also like an insecurity with how I talk, and because like at a young age, I was told that my English was not good, or like that I didn't speak the way that you were supposed to speak. So then I kind of didn't want to sound stupid about like the way I thought or like the way that I pronounced things also. But then at the same time, I'm thinking like all this stuff that I would like. It's not that I didn't want to share stuff with people. I just was insecure about like how it would come out. And I feel like one of the most like important things about this is I felt like even though like it sounded really good in my head, I wasn't able to say my thoughts like out loud. Like I wasn't able to like put what was in my brain and say it in like the most eloquent way or whatever, where like other kids could like express it. And I didn't want to like, I don't know, it just sounded so beautiful in my head, but I didn't want to say it out loud because I don't think I could express it. Like I don't think I could do it like I didn't think I could do my thoughts justice, which is like really weird because they're my thoughts. Like how can you not do your own thoughts justice, right? But so it was like that. So I kind of just like decided I'm not really gonna talk. I'm not really like, it's not like I didn't talk at all, but I was just like, I'm not really gonna say anything. Like I don't feel like I need to say anything. So that was kind of frustrating because I want to say things and then I wouldn't, because I was like, no, don't come and embarrass yourself in public. And like I feel like I'm still kind of that way, but like I'm not because, and like I struggled so hard with figuring out what this channel was going to be about, like even from the very beginning, because as you can see, it went from like me doing my hair. Like when I first did natural hair, I was like, I started watching natural hair videos. I don't even know, like I just decided to film myself doing my hair, which is really crazy for me because I don't like talking to people, but yet I put myself out on the internet. Like that is crazy. But like I went from doing hair stuff to doing makeup to doing rants, and now I'm kind of doing like a little bit of both. But like most recently, I come to realize that like even though I was so nervous about making this channel and all of that, even when I first made my channel, like I told nobody about it. Like I didn't want anyone to know about it because I didn't really want people to like, and I was kind of really like, I felt like I did makeup and hair stuff because like no one could really, like they could, but no one could really judge you about your makeup and hair. Whereas like with your thoughts, that's so different. Like my thoughts are like my babies, and like to have someone come and be like, no, blah, blah. So it was kind of like I started it with makeup and hair, and then like slowly when I did rants, it was kind of me like voicing my opinions, and I was kind of like, I don't really care. And like what I basically came to conclude was this channel is my voice. Like, it's my voice when I can't really talk to people around me about stuff. Not like personal stuff. Like when I have things, when my brain's going a mile a minute, and I have things that I want to say, I come to this channel. Like, and like my thing is like, to me, it's like cool. Like everyone cares about views and all of that, but like, this channel isn't really even about you guys. It's about me. It's about an outlet for me to get stuff out of my brain that I necessarily feel like that I don't like talk about like on my daily life that I want to talk about. So it's really about me. It's not about you guys. But like my thing is when I upload a video, like I feel so relieved because I finally get to talk about things that I want to talk about. Like, and there's like a whole lot of stuff up in here that's just like that I want to say. So that's like what I basically figured out. That's what I wanted to do. Like, even when I started doing natural hair videos, like I thought that was fun because there was like when I started doing natural hair, like the way that I saw to do stuff was on here, but there was no one that was really natural that I knew. So it was like making videos was a way to like talk about my feelings about it, my struggles with it, and all of that I necessarily couldn't talk to about people around me, because the support for me going natural in the beginning was like not welcomed. Like I did not like, people were like which is understandable because I like started, my hair was being relaxed at a young age, so it was understandable. But it was like when I wanted to talk about things like things I struggled with or something, it was like I would come on here because it was like I can talk about it on here, whereas I couldn't talk to, like, let's say, like for example, my mom wasn't going natural, so it's like I couldn't really talk to her about it because it was like she wouldn't get, like, she would get it, but she wouldn't get it, you know, even though she had like natural hair. But like this is like, but back when my mom had natural hair, they weren't doing the stuff that they were doing now. Like they were doing brush, which is basically, imagine like cornrows but like tiny ones, and they go back. Like that's what they did as natural hairstyles. And then she'd be like, oh, just like do that. I'd be like, Mom, I'm not. Oh no, when your foundation, did we get a mic? Oh no. But yeah, when your foundation falls, bummer. But she'd be like, yeah, just like go get brush. And I'm like, no, Mom, I'm not getting brush. Like that's not what I want to do with my life. So it was like that. So I can come on here and like see you guys, whoever you guys are, whoever actually watched it, and be like, this is a struggle. I'm struggling and I cannot do this. So it was like, this is basically my outlet for me to say stuff that I want to talk about. Cause like I have wrote stuff before, but I feel like it doesn't have the same effect writing stuff. Like I'm really fascinated with speaking, which is weird. Like not necessarily me speaking, but like how people can convey messages with words and emphasis on words and all of that. So that fascinates me. Even though I'm not like, I don't feel like I'm the greatest at speaking. Like if I'm told that I have to speak now, obviously I can speak, but I'm not like the most inspirational speaker ever, you know. But like I love watching TED Talks and all of that because I love like the fact that people are able to say what they need to say and get their message across. Like not just like, you know, like speaking like for a class presentation kind of thing, but like speak, like actually speak. I think that's like the coolest thing ever. And like if I could do that, I would like talk forever, like forever ever, and never stop. So I feel like I put on way too much foundation, but I don't feel like this foundation's like full coverage like that. So yeah, so basically I lost my voice. I lost it, and like It's weird to think that I, like, even though I still do that now, like in classes, I'll like want to raise my hand, but I won't, because I'll be like, don't do that. Because I don't like people staring at me at all. Like, that's a no-no for me. Don't stare at me, don't look at me. Like, I kind of just like fade into the background, if that makes sense, or try to fade into the background. Or just because, like, that's the me thing to do. Or like run, which I've been doing lately. Not lately, but I've done pretty recently. So it's like, and I'm here talking to you guys about, which is weird, but it's whatever. So like, this channel is my baby. It basically is my baby. It's where I come to talk about things that are going through my mind, or just like unload my brain, basically, you know? Just like do that. Oh yeah, in case you want to know, this is a foundation that I was using. Yup. Oh my gosh, did I not? What is? Okay, this is shambles, but it's alright. I got like, it's like 11:10 right now, and I'm supposed to go get breakfast at 12. So what I'm gonna do is highlight and contour and keep it pushing. But yeah, I'm just like, I don't know. I'm an interesting one, to say the least, I feel like. Because it's like, how can a person have so much that they want to say, but not say? I know, it seems so stupid, but not say it, right? Like, that's like wild. It's, I don't know. It's kind of what I used to. And it's like, no one, like, my parents always told me to, you know, it's not like my parents instilled that in me. It was kind of like a me decision, you know? Like, I remember specifically because my dad, like, brings this up all the time. So, there's this, like, we have, like, what was it called? It was, like, an African association of where I live. And they had, well, not anymore, but they used to do these, like, picnics, and it would be, like, before, I think it was, like, before school started or something. And for this specific picnic, they had a poetry contest. And I wrote a poem for it. And I don't remember if I won or not. I really don't. The way that my dad talks about it, I feel like I did win, because he's like, that's like his proudest moment of, not like up to date, like probably graduating high school and going to college, proudest moment, but it's like one of his proudest moments. And like, I can't find the poem for the life of me. Like, I have no idea where that poem is at all. But I remember, like, it was like about America, and I was like, apparently it was like really, really good for my age. Like, I remember getting an applause, and I remember, like, I can picture myself standing there and doing the poem. I just don't remember all the words. Like, I remember talking about America and something like that, but like, and I got like a lot of adults came up to me afterwards, and like, people were asking if I really wrote the poem and stuff. And I remember writing it, not specifically the words, but like being at my computer and writing it. But like, for the life of me, can't remember the words. But it was like, I feel like I've gotten more introverted as I've gotten older. Because when I was little, like, another story that my dad told me was, when I was like really little, like, and we would go to parties, like, he would have to chase me because I'd just be like on the dance floor, dancing and all that, and he would just like, and I wouldn't want to leave parties, which is like not me right now. Like, give me my room, give me some YouTube, or give me a good series, you know, like, give me a give me a Thursday night, How to Go with Murder, Grey's Anatomy, Scandal in my room, and some honey buns, and some water, or some like cranberry juice and like ginger ale, and I'm good. Like, and I feel like I used to be so extroverted when I was little. It's so crazy. Like, if I could actually go back and, like, talk to myself and say something, I'd be like, don't change. Don't. Keep being you. Because that's crazy to think about. Like, that I used to, like, when my dad told me stories of, like, my childhood, like, ones I can't remember, obviously, but, like, to think that, like, I was like that, it's so weird. Oh my gosh, can we just talk about this concealer? This concealer is, like, my favorite concealer with this foundation. I don't know why. But, yeah, so it's, like, it's weird to see that I, like, changed that much. So, like, I basically used to have a voice, and now I do not. Well, obviously I have a voice. When I say a voice, I mean being able to convey what I want to say, when I want to say it, how I want to say it, which is weird to think about, but yeah, so it's like younger Fatima was like expressive. Like, I used to say the most outrageous things. It's not even funny. Like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna tell this story because it's funny, and my mom likes to tell this story because she thinks it's funny. So like when my grandmas came to visit during like the summer, I'm pretty sure it's during the summer. I was really little. It could have been like when I was going to like kindergarten for like half a day. I don't know if anyone else in school did that, but mine did. But so my grandma like always used to send me to get her bag. And her bag was so heavy. So, like, the one day I was just like, listen, Grandma, your bag is heavy and you're always sending me to go. I know. I was, like, pretty young. I was so, like, disrespectful. But, yeah, and I was like, your bag is so heavy. And my other grandma was like, I'm telling you, at least someone said it. And, like, my mom likes to bring up that story, so she, like, never asked me to get her bag again. Because I just, like, like, I flipped out. I was like, I refuse. Like, you don't know how heavy your bag is. I'm a little person and you're sending me to get this bag. Like, you have your whole life in your bag. So it's like crazy that I went from like that to like not really. But I feel like when it comes down to it, it's not like I don't talk at all now. Like, when I have something to say to someone, I'm gonna tell them about themselves, and like that's what it is. But like, I feel like I got lost in that, where I'm just like, you don't. Like, there was a point where I was just like, you don't even like, I felt like people didn't even deserve to hear what I said. And like, that's when I was like opening it up a little more, but I would only open up to like close people, like, about what I was thinking and all that. Like, I'm so random. Like, I will literally text like, one of my friends, I will text her like random questions, and like that's, I love to do that. Like, if you guys know about the show called Backchat, like, they talk about topics. I love watching that show specifically for the topics that they talk about. That's like what interests me. Like, I love doing that person who's like throws out a question and like has discussions about things, and that's why I feel like I don't really get into it with people my age, because like I like to have discussions about like what's the topic that I like to have discussions? Like, for instance, because what class did I take? Okay, so in high school I took understanding relationships, and I really liked that class. So like, we talked about relationships, obviously, but like an example of a question I'd ask someone would be like, why is it so hard? See, I can't do things on the spot. Like, I cannot. Like, scenarios. Like, okay, what would you do if your partner cheated on you? Stuff like that. But, because, like, obviously people are like, oh, I would leave. No, not everyone's like that. Like, I like to hear different viewpoints of, like, from different people about things, if that makes sense. So I'm, like, that person who would, like, throw out a question, and, like, I'm really curious to think about people's opinion. Like, I literally just did this, like, a couple days ago, like, when I was hanging out with people. It's just like, so what would you guys do? And like, when I do that, I'm more for like hearing what other people have to say than basically conveying what I have to say. Like, I know, like, one of my friends, we talk about like, that's what we do, go back and forth and like just talk about like questions and stuff like that. And that's like my favorite thing to do, which is funny because I don't like really being in discussion classes, but because it's different when you can choose who you can talk to, whereas like talking to strangers. Because I feel like when you're in a class, like like obviously you like that class, but you're choosing to listen to that person because you have to listen to them, if that makes sense. You're not there to listen to them because you want to. So I'm like, you don't really want to hear what I gotta say. You're just here because you know you gotta be here for this class, you know? So that's like my mindset with it. Whereas like with my friends, I'm like, oh, they hang out with me because they actually want to hang out with me. So obviously, like, or not necessarily like I'll open up and be like, oh, this is what I think. And you should be like, oh, someone be like, oh, what would you do? And I'll be like, damn. Like I really will be like that for a while. I'll be like, damn, why you gotta put me on the spot like that? But it's like, alright. I'm more willing to answer things around people that I know. But yeah, like that's my favorite type of talk. Like if I have to talk to someone, I would rather talk about stuff like that than like, or like there's a lot of pages that I follow on Instagram because you know we are a generation of social media, and I'm involved. Like I am too. Like I just realized how unhealthy my habit is with my phone, and I need to cut that off now. But like when I follow a lot of pages that have like scenario things on Instagram, so I'll like message my friend about it, like, and I'll be like, thoughts, and we'll just talk about it because that's like my favorite type of like gathering. Like I feel like I would be that person who just has like people over to have like conversation parties. I love like just having conversations about topics and just like I'm fascinated with people and how the way that people think, because it's like with the cheating scenario, like everyone would be like, oh, obviously they'd leave. No, not everyone would leave, and that's okay. That's personal preference, obviously, but like I want to know because not everyone thinks the same way, obviously. So like that fascinates me, being able to like hear different viewpoints, and I'm really intrigued when people don't say the cookie cutter answer, and that's when I want to know more. I'm like, oh, okay, why do you feel that way? Like, it's not like I'm like, oh, why do you feel that way? Like, you should leave. Like, for with the cheating example, you should leave. I'm just like, oh, I want to know where your brain's at. Like, I think, like, I love to pick people's brains and like find out about them and stuff like that. Like, that's my favorite thing to do, because I don't know, it's just like I love hearing thoughts. Like, also, like, I love watching documentaries. Like, that's like amazing to me. Like, for instance, I'm taking a class and we watched Oprah interview Maya Angelou, and I knew that I loved Maya Angelou, but like after watching this interview I loved her even more because she had like, you ever like, oh my gosh, I feel like that's why I'm like loving this class, okay? Like, I was thinking about things, well, you guys already know this class, I think I made a video on it, but like trying to be more positive and all of that, and mindset, and like not surrounding myself with negativity. And in the interview she talks about stopping destructive talk, and I was like, am I being punked right now? She covered she covered self-love and all of that stuff. She covered so many things that I really like came into 2018 wanting to practice and trying to implement also in 2017. And I was like literally these freakish things be happening to me, and I'm like, are you trying to tell me something? Like, are you trying to tell me something? Like, it's the creepiest things. And I was just like, all right, this is weird. This is so weird. Like, I was like, okay. Well, I thought it was weird anyways. I was like, am I being punked? Is this a joke? So it's like stuff like that. Like, especially with this class, we have discussions like in class too, but we specifically have like discussions online, and I like just we only had one right now, but I just went in like, and it's like, I don't know, I'm weird. I'm weird, like I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, that's basically me. Like, it is 11:24. I'm acting like I always be making videos. when I know I gotta be somewhere. But like, I just wanted to wear makeup today because like I didn't have any class, and I was just like, let me film a video because I'm gonna say this now, even though like it kind of has been a thing, but now it's like set in stone. So I'm going to try to upload 3 times a week, mostly for my benefit, and for the purpose of consistency, among other things, and discipline. But not like discipline. That's discipline. I'm trying to form good habits, and I feel like consistency is a habit. So I'm gonna start out with being consistent to this channel. So I'm going to try to upload Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So this video should be up tomorrow because today's Tuesday, so tomorrow. Should be up tomorrow. Yeah, I don't really know, like, and it was supposed to be on this box, and I had to find stuff to thing, but like I said, I'm always thinking about things. Like, I have things that I already want to talk, that's so weird, that I already want to talk about, like, so it's not, yeah, and also because my schedule this semester allows me to do that without, like, you know, straining myself. So I was like, why not? Like, why not push myself to do that? And like to be consistent. And I think I've done pretty good for it. And we're about to be at the end of January, so I'm a little proud of myself. I also think it's important that I say this so you guys can check me if I don't, because you know, like, to myself, I'll be like, oh, they don't even notice that I'm posting on Wednesday, so I don't even have to post on Wednesday. There was a day, though, that I think I posted on Tuesday instead of Monday, but that was, like, uploading issues, so that's different. But I'm going to try to upload 3 times a week. I prefer to upload on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If that does not happen, it will be at least 3 times a week, okay? That's all I have to say. I don't know how I feel about this makeup. Like, I love the combination of this concealer and this foundation, but sis. Yeah. Isn't it weird? Like, not even, like, in general, we really stop ourselves from doing things. Like, that's something. That is something. Like, wow. Yeah. It snowed yesterday. Like, I'm pretty much done with what I'm saying, but I'm not done doing my makeup, so kind of, you know what, actually, I'm not gonna make you guys stay here for any longer. I'm gonna finish my makeup and kind of say goodbye to you guys so you guys can see the finished look. I'm not really gonna do that much, but I want to watch a YouTube video right now, so, and it's a little too quiet up in here, so I'll come back when I'm done. Okay guys, so this is the finished look. I like just came back from getting lunch because like I was running late, but this is the finished look. I hope you enjoyed what I talked about. I hope you enjoyed the topic. If you could relate, comments down below. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I think the only thing that I want to touch on, I contoured my nose differently, but you saw that. The rest of the things I did the same. I just went back into my brows and I made them a little bit darker, but the rest of the makeup you can see in like my previous videos. Like, I pretty much did the same thing. The only difference was contouring my nose like differently, which I don't know how I feel about that. I kind of like it, but then like I don't know, it's interesting. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment down below. Yeah, that's pretty much it, and I love you guys so much. Bye.